guys, it's me, it's Talia. Today is Monday, August 15th, and before we get started, I know that I promised my big extravaganza video today, but I'm going to postpone that for one more week because I'm still waiting on some things to come in the mail, some haul to come in, because the only thing I really have right now to show you is like technically not Stitchy related. So I'm going to wait, I'm going to give it another week. Hopefully everything should be here by then. I know one of the things, I know a couple of things are going to be sent out today. So hopefully that'll give it enough time to get here by Saturday. We'll see. But in order to provide you with that extravaganza, I'm not going to go over anything that I've gotten this week. I'm not going to do my tag yet or my giveaway yet. Today's video is just going to be about the whips that I've done for this past week in the Summer Olympic Challenge in Stitch Maynia. And then I will let you in on what I'm going to be working on, hopefully. You know how my plans change, which they did this week. Another partly cloudy day, so I apologize if the light seems to be going in and out. I'm powerless against it. Luckily I won't have anything to show off, so hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon here, so this is just going to be a pull my crap out of my bag day as I go through it, and I'm thinking a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing this week is either a digital pattern or it's already a start, so it's already in my bag. We'll see. If I have to go get something, I will just pause and go get something. Not really any prep work today, so deal with it. I have to get my little notes here. Okay. On Monday, the challenge was an aquatic cement challenge. It was to work on something with water in it. Big bag. It's huge. I keep starting stuff, so it keeps getting bigger and fuller. Yeah, I forgot something. And I do want to go in order, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you know this is where you were when I got up. My computer kind of fell off my little stand that I got sitting on. Moving on. Monday's challenge was challenge to stitch on something with water in it. And I started a stained glass aerial that I purchased from Etsy a while back. And I will insert a picture of what the finished piece looks like. I didn't get a whole lot done, but there's big blocks of color in it. So this is what I got done on her. There's a black outline, and then I got started on the that blue that's in there. Long way to go. Just doing this on a yellow 16 count Ada that I got from LJ. I'm doing this on a hand dyed because I don't like yellow. I don't know why I bought this, but I guess I was just overcome with excitement on purchasing something from him back a while back, maybe. You know what? I think this might have actually been a Under the Sea Fabrics piece. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. I'll write it down. But that's what I got. Not much done on her. I'd like to work on her some more today, actually, so it's nice and fun and easy. We'll see. I still have my my piece for today to work on. because I haven't gotten any stitching done today. I've been organizing and messing around on the computer. That was Monday's challenge. Tuesday's challenge was an Olympic rings event. It was to stitch on a piece with black in it. The original plan for that one was to stitch on Lost Boys, which I said I would try to work on. But that didn't get done because I can't take it to work with me. So, I worked on Pokemon. I worked on the black stitching in Pokemon, which I need to put some more black 310 in my Pokemon box. But I will, let me think if I got a picture. If I got a picture of where I was at last time before I started working on it, I'll insert it. Otherwise, I'll show you where I'm at right now. Put this in here, it'll be easier. I feel like it'll be done. You're gonna notice a difference because there's some black. I did all of the like little black stitches around the edges here. Started in around his eye here. And then where his feet are. It's funny to me because after I stitched this, he kind of looks like he's wearing one of those like those witches boots that they portray in like cartoons and stuff that have like a really curved toe and a heel. Kind of looks like he's wearing one of those. I just think it's really funny. That's where I'm at on him. And I think I didn't do any of the thing, but I did do the whites. And I started on the gray, which ironically is the same color gray as the gray in the checkerboard. So he's coming right along. I think I might work on him again. Maybe. I'll have to see what I have coming up because you know how my plans change. I say I'm going to work on one thing, but it doesn't end up that way. I already showed that one. Why did I grab that one? For some reason I grabbed that tea kettle thing. I forgot I had already showed it last week. Then we move on to Wednesday's challenge, which was a gymnastics event. And it was to stitch on a piece that had specialty stitches in it. Hold on a second. I'm trying to keep up. Okay. I did work on that. I didn't like it though. What did I do with it? What is it? See, the thing is, I thought I had satisfactorily switched it out. Switched out the fabric. It turns out it's not going to work. The fabric itself is not going to work. It's like the type of fabric it is. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is the pattern that I was working on. I barely got a start on it. I will show you what I did get done on it, but you're not going to be impressed. If you're going to be able to see it. See that? Let me zoom in. Pull this up a little bit more. Get a little bit here. Now, let's do a close-up. this is what I got done. These are the these are the looped cross stitches, and gotta get in there. I don't know if you can see how they're supposed to be, but this fabric is not going to work. There's a reason that I personally think this took 2 hours, and it's not for I wasn't doing it right. It's just the stitches don't work right in linen, especially not this type of linen. Because you really need that tension and the tightness of the stitches in an even weave to make these sit right. And this isn't going to work. So it's back to the drawing board yet again for the woven cross. I did work on that. At least I can say I tried. At least I can say I tried. But this fabric will have to get cropped out, and I will put it away and use it for something else. Now I'll just have to pick another fabric to do woven cross on at a later time. I can't do it right now because I don't think I have anything in an even weave that I would like to do that on. But because that was such a horrible fail, I did pull out something else that day that I haven't worked on in a while. And the reason I pulled it out is because this is the fabric that I tried my experiment on for those looped cross stitches. I started on, I worked again on His Name is Jesus. And when I pulled it back out the other day, I had a thought, I really do like that. So I'm going to keep working on it. I'm just going to stick to what I have. I will insert, let me show you, it's the same as that pattern that I worked for my mom. I will insert a picture of the one that I did for her, which is a good indication of what the actual writing itself is supposed to look like. Colors are interchangeable. And then I will, after that, then I'll insert a picture of where it was at last time we saw it. So here, hold on. Here is where it's at today. And I'm hoping that you guys can notice that this is a dark purple. It's really hard to see, but this is like a really super dark plum color. And I like this. I did basically all this down here. The loop here and then all this down here. Because I think up before I had this in this loop, and then it stopped like right here. And I finished all that down there. That's actually the loop in the J, and then the loop in the H there, and then this starts the J. It comes out and then goes down in Jesus. So that's what I got done on him. On this one, this is just a kind of, I think it's an oatmeal even weave. I can't remember. Or maybe an antique white. I don't remember. I'll look it up. If you need to know, I will gladly look it up and see what I did it on. The thing like this, when it comes to like basic fabrics like this, I have a hard time remembering where I get them from. So that's what I worked on for the rest of Wednesday. And then Thursday was the to stitch on a piece with green in it, which was the another Olympic rings challenge. Yeah, the Olympic rings to stitch on a piece with green in it. So that day I stitched on Home Again because it has so many different types of green in it. And they're not like green as you would think is green. Oh, look, I have green on today. And it's not traditional green like you would think of, like a regular bright green. They're pale greens. They're more like olivey type of greens, but like faded. I'm trying to get the out of the damn thing. This is Home Again, and I will insert a picture of where it was at last time I showed it. And I worked on nothing but the half stitch in the green to the side of the house. That's what I worked on. I don't know if I'm able to show this right, but basically from all this from here to here, like all this fill in right here, is what I did. Sorry, the needle was poking me. So yeah, that's what I worked on. Dang it. Whatevs. This is what I worked on. And I did notice this tree is not right. I did make a mistake in the tree, so I just kind of fudged around it. Which is easy to do stuff like this. As long as the count, I did have to make sure that the count here for the roof was right, because something like that I couldn't fudge. But basically this was right for some reason. I just messed up like where I put the trunk for some reason. I don't know. I don't even know what happened. I just know there's somewhere along the way I messed up. But that's that. I'm see a little bit better back here. And then Friday and Saturday was a difficult days. I need to put these back in my bag actually while I'm setting them over there. Friday and Saturday were a little bit challenging for me because I couldn't take my stuff to work with me. I did cheat. I'll take that back. I did cheat a little bit on Friday. Okay, you guys, I messed up so badly because I could not remember for the life of me what I worked on when, and I'm gonna go back and just rewind myself and start over. Friday was Friday was the triathlon event in the Olympic challenge, and that day you were supposed to work on 3 pieces. Before work, I started working on the tea kettle that I was working on, that I was so close to finishing. And I will insert a picture of where I was at last time you saw it. And guess what? I have a finish. Yay me. I told you guys I was almost done with it. Only thing I had left to do, oops, too much. Only thing I had left to do on it was to finish off the handle over here on this side, just this little piece right here, and then doing all the back stitching it was just like around the outside of the pot itself, and then around the handle, and that's all I had to do. And I was so happy to be done. I am so happy to be done with this thing. You guys just don't know. But I finished that one before work on Friday. And then I took another small project with me to work. Even though I don't normally take my stitching with me to work on Fridays and Saturdays, I did take something with me so I could say that I worked on something. And I took the ludicrous bee. I will I'm not going to insert a picture of where I was because it's pretty easy for me to tell you what I did. Sorry. Only thing I did at work Saturday, just to say that I got some stitches in, and I heard something about there being a requirement that you had to do at least 50 stitches. I don't know if this is 50 stitches. Yeah, it's 50 stitches. I got into the high 40s, but with plenty more to spare, so. The only thing I did was the O, the block in the O right there, and then I did the first line in the U, the first down line. That's all I did on that one. So, and I think I spent maybe about 45 minutes on that. Just literally at the beginning of the morning, like from about, well, maybe I spent an hour on it. I spent for maybe about 10:20-ish to about 11:15, 11:20, 45 minutes to an hour or something like that. But I cut because I wanted to. I knew that most of the time, in the mornings, on the weekend, is really when it's the slowest, and that goes for any day during the actual week, Monday through Friday week. It's usually the slowest in the mornings, like first thing in the morning. So I knew that as long as I could pull that out right after I got to work, then I might have a chance to get some stitches in on it, which I did. The next thing the last thing I worked on Friday, which I didn't work on until I got home that night, was the Chinese Phoenix from Joan Elliott, I found mine in the Bewitching Cross Stitch book. And did I get anything done on it? No, I didn't. What did I work on? You know what? I'm going to rewind myself. I did not work on this. I worked on the Angel of Grace, I think. Yes, I worked on Angel of Grace instead of Chinese Phoenix. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm hoping I can put this together and make some sense. Let's throw that away. I did not work on that. Saturday night, after I got home, we're going to try this again. I worked on Angel of Grace. Very pretty. And I will insert a picture of where I was at last time. And what I did Saturday night after I got home was the blended threads here. Dang it. Sorry. I did this blended thread. You see where those lighter colors are? The lighter color green? That's actually a blended between, I think it's 3051 and 3052. Yeah, it's a blended between 3051 and 3052. I did have like that first row right there done, like 4 stitches before that, but then I did the rest of this from like here, and I did all this Saturday night after I got home. So that's how she's coming along. The bad part is that on my days off, I just want to work on everything, but I can't because I don't have time. Projects. I was a busy person on Friday. Saturday's project was another Olympic rings event, and that one was to work on a piece with red in it. I will admit I cheated on this one because I wanted to work on this one, but I didn't really feel like doing anything by the time I got off work that night. So I did it before I went to work early Sunday morning. So please forgive me for cheating on that one. But I try not to take my stitching to work, and feeling like stitching on weekend evenings after work, after I've been at work for 11 hours and I don't get home until between 9:45 and 10, and by the time I get settled, feed my cat, get settled, all that stuff, it's usually 10:15 to 10:30, and I'm usually pretty wiped by then. But Saturday night, what I would have worked on Saturday night was sarcasm, and I'm not going to do a before and after because I can tell you I just did that red right there. And you can see the sparkle a lot better on this than you can in the black. And that's because I did it with the red Kreinik. So that's all I did on that one. And that actually is the A, because the S, to start on the S, I would have had to space it over the B, which I haven't done the B yet. So I started with an A, the second letter. So that's that one. And then Sunday's project. Let me get this back in here. Sunday's project was actually supposed to be to stitch on a piece with animals in it to represent the equestrian event. And I said it was even better if it had a horse in it. Well, I don't have any patterns with horses in it. My original plan that I think I told you guys was that I was going to work on Pokemon because they weren't, you know, normal animals, but they were something of an animal. Well, that plan got changed too. I started another new start. I went ahead and started the Lion and the Lamb from the Kreinik collection. And I was noticing the copyright on this is 1987. So it's pretty old. But it's still cute. Sounds like we're about to get a thunderstorm. And I liked their idea so much. I like their idea so much of doing it on this kind of this color type of fabric here, this color fabric. And they actually say it's a a plum Jobelin. It doesn't look purple to me. It may be one of those things where the color is off a little bit. They say it's plum. I'm not doing it on a plum. I have a color fabric that's very similar. This was already all kitted up, so it was ready to go. I went ahead and started it on this piece I got from a Stash and Load page a while back. And God, you really can't see this because of the light. But it's like a faded mauve color. It's really pretty piece of fabric. And this is an 18 count, so this is going to be plenty big enough. There's going to be like this much space. It'll be plenty big enough. And I just started on the brown in the main. So that's that one. I really love this fabric. It's really soft. And I really wish I knew where to get some more at. I think there was a suggestion a long time ago when I first introduced this fabric that it might have possibly been Silk Weavers, but it's up in the air. I have no clue where fabric came from. It's really soft and it's really nice to work with, but it's a 16 count Aida, and that fabric you would think would be like an even weave. So that's all that I've worked on this past week. Now we're going to get into what I'm going to be working on this coming week, including today. Today's challenge is to work on a piece that has white in it. And I was thinking about working on Bluebell Fairy. Let me find her. I think I already worked on her the other week, but I mean we can work on something more if we want. We can work on a piece in multiple days if we want to. This is Bluebell Fairy. I'm going to be working on her. And as a reminder, like I said, trying to rush through this. As a reminder, this is where I'm at now on her. So hopefully next time you see her, there will be a little bit more done. I keep trying to find ways to see if I can work on a color other than something that's super light. That gets old really fast when you're constantly working on light and ultralight baby blue, and that gets old. Tomorrow's project is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be one of the ones that I was having trouble figuring out what to do. And I thought I was going to start on another new start, which was a cricket collection. Tomorrow's challenge is going to be to work on something with a wheel in it. And I thought I was going to end up starting I think it's a cricket collection pattern. I think it's a cricket collection pattern. It's called Humility Sampler, and it has like the Amish carriages in it. But I'm not going to start that. It's a lot bigger than it looks, and I'm not really trying to start anything real big, especially new starts right now. I'm trying to keep them fairly small. So I'm going to kind of go around the bend on this one. I'm actually going to be starting my Dale Earnhardt Junior pattern, which I had started last year, but I had started it on the 14 count Aida, and I just wasn't liking the process of working on it. I hated the process of working on it. So I'm going to restart it on a 18 count. And there's nothing to show right now, so I'll just insert a picture of what the actual picture looks like. So that's what I'm going to be starting. And it's just on a piece of white, just a random piece of white Ada. So, oh, I'll put that in my bag. There's so much stuff in my bag right now. That brings us to Wednesday's challenge, 17th, which is another, it's an Olympic medals event, one of the Olympic medals, the 3 Olympic medals events, and it is to work on a piece with gold in it. And I will be, I'll be working on Angel of Grace again, because it has gold Kreinik in it. It calls for, I think it's 028 citron, or whatever that color is. I have a gold in my little bag of Kreinik over there. I'm not sure what the number is, but I may end up substituting that out. I think it's just not quite as bright as the called for Kreinik, but we'll see what happens. I will try to work on that. And if I don't work on the Kreinik, I'll just work on something else on her. But Lord knows there's plenty that I can do. The 18th, which is Thursday, is a national anthems event, and is to stitch on a piece with a music theme or a patriotic theme. This is another one that I had a bit of work to try to find. I'm not big on patriotic stuff or Americana or anything like that. So I went looking around. I don't currently have a piece that has any kind of music inspiration. I already did my Phantom of the Opera piece earlier this year. So I went looking around for some freebies, and I found a cute little pattern of a girl with a harp. I actually found 2 pieces that I liked. One I would stitch for my dad, because he's always been in like bands and stuff, and he has an electric guitar that looks almost exactly like the pattern. But I went with, I'm going to go with a piece that is, it's a freebie that I got from, I'll put it down below, I can't remember, it's like crossstitchpatterns.net or something like that. I'll put it down below right there. And it's just a girl playing harp. It's a cute little pattern, and I will insert a picture of it now. So I'm going to be starting on that on Thursday. Friday and Saturday is where it gets tricky again because of work. Friday is another Olympic medals event, which is to stitch on a piece with silver in it. And I am going to be starting yet another piece, but this one actually has silver beads in it. I'm going to be starting, Brooks Books, I'm going to be starting that little snowflake right there, and it has silver beads in it. So I'm going to start it. I might not get to the beads yet, because I'm going to have to order those when I get paid, probably Friday. So those won't be in until next week. But I am going to be starting on that. And Saturday is going to be a Olympic torch event, which is to stitch on a piece with fire or flames in it. This is going to be another new start, and I will insert a picture of what I'm going to be doing here. That is another freebie that I found, and I think I got it. At this point in my head, I'm not even sure which picture I'm going to put up. I have a couple of different options, but I will post somewhere down on the bottom right here, or with the picture of where I got it from, so if anybody's interested in it. But it is a freebie. It's a legal freebie. It's a general freebie. So I'll be starting that. And then finally, on the 21st, which is Sunday, which is the last event in the challenge. It's another Olympic of Metals event, and it's to stitch on a piece with copper or bronze in it. And I'm going to be starting. Alright, I'm going to be starting a piece called Patchwork Pumpkin, and I will insert a picture of it here. So, quite a few new starts this week, and we'll see how that goes. I will share those with you next week. Anyway, that's all that I'm gonna be doing this week. Since I'm postponing my big extravaganza video till next week, I will do my shout outs next week. I just wanted to do this video today just to kind of get caught up and to stay caught up on what I'm working on for the Olympic challenge. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. I will definitely do my big video next week. Look for that. And I hope you guys have a great Stitchy week. Have a blessed week as always. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.